Okay, so I know a lot of people have been waiting for this video, and obviously the reason I've waited so long is because I actually wanted to play RogueBlox for as much as possible before making this review video. I didn't want to be rash like most of the videos I've seen on the game. Like most of it is like RogueBlox sucks, why RogueBlox is gonna die, Roblox, I can't play RogueBlox anymore. And I didn't want to take that approach, and I actually wanted to give the game a chance because I actually enjoyed playing the game off rip. It's been a little bit over a week since RogueBlox actually came out free to play for the public, and I actually have shy over 70 hours of time spent inside of the game. So today, as the title implies, I will be giving you guys my honest thoughts on RogueBlox as someone who's actually put quite a bit of time into this game. So before we get into that, you guys do me a huge favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get straight into this. Now, comments like this genuinely blow my mind. They kind of irk me. No, they do irk me. Mainly because I'm not actually sure how people see and play RogueBlox and get Deepwoken vibes. How is that possible? Yet alone RuneSlayer. What are we talking about? The RuneSlayer comments genuinely just have to be some sort of rage bait. RogueBlox tells you exactly what the game is by the title of the game, RogueBlox. It's a rogue lineage inspired game. I blame it on most of you guys for being new gen Roblox players. But 60% of RogueBlox is literally directly influenced by rogue lineage. The progression, that being spawning in as a freshie, getting enough money and EXP to get your base class, then progressing on to super class, and then going to do your ultra quest in order to actually obtain your ultra class. However, despite that, it's not actually a one-to-one copy of rogue lineage, with the combat actually feeling somewhat modernized and a good 30% of the game actually being influenced by Terraria. How you actually progress your character is different to its rogue lineage older brother. There's almost nothing in RogueBlox that feels, plays, or even looks like Deepwoken or RuneSlayer. I think some of you guys need to call your local optician and book a vision test, because you guys are absolutely going blind. This just feels like when you guys were calling Type Soul Deepwoken all over again. You guys were literally calling Type Soul Deepwoken. Now that Type Soul's officially actually a thing, it's a name for itself, you guys call other games Type Soul. It's just kind of cringe. Now, let's actually dive into what I do not like about this game. Now, this list may actually not be that long, because honestly, I think the game does exactly what it's meant to do, and that's be an evolved version of rogue lineage. However, what I do not like are some of the ultra class. I do think freshie killing is an issue, but I don't think it's all that serious. Sometimes one half is super classes doing the ultra quest, where they may need to kill other players in order to actually get the ultra class or to finish that part of the progression, whatever that requirement may be. However, the other half is ultra classes who stand around the spawn town and negatively interact with other players around them just out of pure lack of IQ, just zero intelligence. Or the ultra classes that are super nosy and just dive their business where their business doesn't belong. Those guys are the most annoying. They think because they're ultra classes and they see freshies fighting, they need to intervene. Bro, go play the game. Why are you here? And the main reason this actually annoys me is because there's actually a lot of things to do in the game end game. There's some stuff we're still even trying to figure out currently, but these guys, instead of using their ultra classes to discover secrets and actually use their classes to traverse the map properly, they use their ultra classes to bully other players. It's so cringe. Another thing I would have to admit I genuinely dislike about this game right now are the lurkers. For some reasons, the developers thought it would be a good move to make beginner mobs more annoying to fight in the game than mid to end game level mobs. And I'm not even joking. I have an easier time fighting mobs in the tundra, the desert, and the badlands than I do fighting these stupid lurkers and the bandits as well. Humanoid NPCs with weapons, they're just impossible to fight. Why am I having an easier time fighting a pack of prowlers than bandits and lurkers? If we're being honest, the only thing that actually done for this game is put off the noobs who are actually stuck permafreshies because they are kind of bound to the forest area because they don't really have the kit or the means to actually explore, go to the tundra, or go badlands, or go desert because they're in their noob attire. They don't feel like it's safe enough to explore the game. So what do? They try to fight these lurkers or the bandits. They die a bunch of times and probably wipe a couple of times, not to mention the intervening from ultras, and then quit the game. Why is the beginner area harder than every other area in the game? It doesn't even make sense. I don't care if you need to parry. Lurkers are still harder to kill than prowlers. And my last complaint is actually kind of minor, but the lack of event. I do wish there were more instanced events to participate in. I mean, yes, there is gladiators, and the gladiators where you lose your life upon dying, which, you know, high risk, high reward, and that's fine and fun to participate in. However, sometimes I feel like glads don't even start in some servers for some reason, and when they do start, no one ever joins, which is actually super annoying, especially the PD ones. I feel like they should have a rotation of different game modes every 30 minutes that players can participate in, and give the incentive of players actually going in these raids or events by giving these raids and events exclusive drops that you can only get in that type of event. So maybe like there's a gladiator joint, there's a team fight joint, and there's some other type of event that they, you know, make, be creative, I guess, and you can only get certain drops depending on which event you're taking place in. That would be great. Certain drops, certain weapons, certain armors, maybe even certain reforges, etc. Now let's talk about the things I do like, which is actually most of the game. In my opinion, most of the progression is fairly interesting, even though some of the ultra quests can be very annoying to actually attempt to complete. But once you get your head around it, it's actually not that bad. And genuinely, there's so much about this game we haven't discovered. As said before, some of us just found out that the lava area, there are ways to summon and spawn areas that come out and sink back into the lava after a certain amount of time. This means that there might actually be drops and different obtainables that are exclusively tied to the lava area, and that the player base is yet to actually discover properly. The sense of discoverability and actually needing to spend time in each biome properly in order to discover certain locations. I mean, I just found out there was like an ant boss in the desert area, and I've been playing the game for over 70 hours. Though I just found out about it yesterday. What the heck? The game's combat, though at times it can be kind of stiff, it is actually fun and satisfying to play around with, especially when you pull off a good combo string, or when you actually win 2v1 or 3v1 situations, which I've actually done. Like, I love that for me. Reforges and how they apply to different items and weapons, and how all of that actually impacts your build, is actually really good too. It may look like a small feature or small detail, but having a complete build with certain reforges applied to certain armors or weapons goes a long way, especially when implemented properly to your build. It will definitely help you min-max your build, and it helps a lot in different PvP and PvE situations. Genuinely, if you just have random armor together, your build won't be as strong as if you had that same random armor with different reforges that are suited to or tailored to what your build is meant to do. Weapon enchants and how they correspond super well to your relics. Like, obviously, let's just say fire one, just to be basic. There are certain relics, or there are a bunch of relics that work really well with fire. So if you put the right relics together, you could actually make a super busted fire build. And again, all of this impacts how your build turns out. It's super important that you take things like enchants, relics, and even reforges seriously, because it makes your build stronger. However, I do wish you could do more with mythical weapons. Mythical weapons in this game kind of feel underwhelming, especially since you have to grind your life away for them. They definitely need a tune-up. Because of how much you have to farm, they should definitely be able to do much more. With some mythical weapons, if you already have a reforge on them, they carry over to the mythical version. Sometimes you are able to craft mythical weapons, and then if you have a reforge on the craftable, it carries over to the mythical. However, if you don't, it will just be base, and you can't apply wheat stones in order to, you know, make a reforge for it. And mythical weapons can't use enchants for some reason. Again, I find it really stupid. I'm not gonna lie to you, there's no reason to do that. I grinded my life away for this weapon, and you're going to restrict me on what I can and can't do with my weapon? That's honestly so stupid, and the devs need to rethink that. Please, somebody send this part of the video to a developer. It's actually really bad. Makes no sense. And honestly, there's so much more about the game I do enjoy, but I'm starting to actually get lazy. I don't want to speak anymore. I don't want to write anymore to the script. So we've actually covered a lot about the game and the most important parts, if we're being honest. And if I didn't like the game, I wouldn't have over 70 hours on the game. You guys know I don't play games I don't like, especially on Roblox. And yeah, that's basically it. I know a majority of the players don't like the game. Can see that from the like to dislike ratio. It's very apparent. However, you know, it is what it is. Let me know what your opinion of the game is. If you're a perma-freshie or you're just going to complain about being killed by ultras, don't leave a comment. There's no point. We know you get killed by ultras. On the most part, I do know people randomly get jumped when they're progressing. I have had those encounters. So sometimes I die, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just call for backup because I have a guild. But yeah, it can be annoying. I know some people that haven't even reached ultra class because they're just always getting targeted. They're always getting ganked. It doesn't matter what build they're on, if they're always getting killed. And I don't know how. I have had a lot of solo I mean, majority of the time I'm playing this game is solo, but I've had a lot of solo progressions where people just run right past me or run right past each other. And I'll be on a fresh slot, whether I'm super or even ultra. A lot of the times I've been playing, I think I've had more times where people interact positively or just don't interact at all than trying to kill me. And before you say it's because you're on Revolveragz, I have alt accounts that I progress on as well, and I haven't just been randomly murdered. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's you're just a victim. You're just a victim.